So how do you treat others within your industry, your competition, when we're all in competition with someone in work, from business to business, hopefully not inside a business. But are you a friend or are you a foe? You know, last couple of days and weeks, I've heard some bits and pieces. Not that it bothers me at all, but I it just actually took me back to a memory of mine when I was a child. Um, and do we should really we be treating each other better? Should there be a little bit more respect for each other? And whether you're in the estate agency industry or not, how do you treat your competition? Do you see them in a positive light, or do you see it negative? Do you have friends within the industry that you're in fierce rivalry with business wise? How do you cope with that? And it took me back to a story, when I don't know what age I was, 13 or 14. And I remember being taken to a cricket match, and I'm not really a huge cricket fan. I've got to say, I really enjoyed the day. I was at the Benson Hedges final. I must have been 13 or 14. And my granddad took me. And he went with, he was invited by a particular person. And this person actually was a very close friend of his. And they used to go to dinner with him and his wives on a Friday night. And I got talking. It was the only day and only time I spent with this person that invited my granddad and myself, and his name was George. George was someone who is a rival of my granddad's. They both owned scaffolding companies. So I come from a family of scaffolders. My granddad, my dad, my uncle worked and owned their own scaffolding company. I found it quite interesting, even then, being quite young, asking how they were friends, because they were rivals as such. And George explained to me that there was huge respect between the two, that no matter who won a particular contract, that they were making each other's companies better because they were always looking to make improvements. And really the respect word was really the big thing that he was trying to get across to me, is that there was no reason for there to be bitterness or any negativity, and a great friendship had actually formed because there was a huge common ground. There was a lot in common between the two because of what they were doing, which made huge sense to me. And I'm not saying everyone does this, but why do we hear these negative comments? Why do we see even negative comments from some of these forums that I don't really read anymore? It's just not needed. I mean, we should all be entitled to different opinions. We're going to run our companies in a certain way, but it doesn't mean that we have to be disrespectful to each other. And I think it'd be a huge improvement within the industry if some of us just thought about it before they intensified a rumor, fueled it even more, just started it for no reason. Because I'm convinced, well, I know that certain things have been said. As I said, it doesn't really bother me, but it triggered this story, or memory rather, that I went back to. So whether or not you're in a high street branch, you work for an independent, or you own an independent, whether you work for a corporate, whether you own a corporate, whether you're in a self-employed model, or you're an online model, no matter what it is, there's more than enough business for us to go around. The industry is going to evolve. It's going to change. We want it to improve. That's what we should all want. We should want to be hearing different opinions from people. Personally, I would, and always have, if people have reached out to offer a different view, whether or not they need help and support. At the end of the day, we're in this to have a business, but also we should be in it to improve the relationship with the consumer, because the estate agency industry generally has a poor name. That needs to change, and it can only change if we all improve our services. And I think it will improve faster if we're open to working with each other. So that's my thought for the day. It was triggered by a few things, but much bigger topic than just a few individuals or other companies. But hopefully that might stir some thoughts and opinions. Thanks.